in section 3.1. 3.1 is about graphing points. We're only going to graph points. A rectangular coordinate system consists of two number lines that intersect at right angles at their 0 points. Their 0 points are called the origin. So this red dot that I put on the coordinate plane is called the origin. The horizontal axis is called the x-axis. So this would be my x-axis. The vertical axis is called my y-axis. So my one going up and down, of course, would be the y-axis. The axes divide the coordinate plane into regions called quadrants, and they are labeled with Roman numerals. So the top right quadrant is quadrant 1. Top left is quadrant 2. Bottom left is quadrant 3. And the remaining one, of course, would be quadrant 4. We won't get much into quadrants until in this class. We won't get into quadrants at all, but in future math classes, the next time you would probably see quadrants would be in trigonometry. Each point on a graph corresponds to an ordered pair of numbers, x, y. The first number is called the x value, and it tells you to move across, and the second number is the y value, and it tells you to move up and down. So it will always come x first and then y, and x is always the across number, and y is always the up or down number. Our first example in this section is to actually plot these points. So my first point is 4, -2. So that means I'm going to go across to 4. That would be right. Go across to 4 and down to 2. So 4, -2 would be right here. Let me erase that and start back over for a second. If you are counting it, do not put points when you count it, but I'm going to put points so you can see where I'm going. I'm going to go across 4 to the positive 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to go down 2 from there, 1, 2, and I'm going to put my major point. I'm going to call that point A, and so I'm going to label it A since we'll have several points on the paper. You'll see on your graph here that you have a stray line in the top position. That is not anything you need to be worried about. There's just a straight line on the graph. I apologize for that. Looking at point B, we're going to go across to -3, so that means left on the number line, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go up 1. That would be point B. Point C tells me to go across to 2, so 2 on the positive side and up 0, so that actually means I'm going to lie on the axis. Point D tells me to go across to -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down to 3, 1, 2, 3, and that is point D. Point E is the point 3, 5, so go across to 3, positive 3, and up 5 from there. So across 3 and up 5, you would be right here, and that's point E. Point F tells you to go over 0, so that means stay where you are at the origin and move down 5 places, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that would be point F. So the first objective from section 3.1 is to take coordinates and plot those points on the graph. Our second and our last objective from this section will be to go in reverse. So looking in reverse here, I give you the points, and I want you to tell me points on the graph, and I want you to tell me what their coordinates are. Remember, the x number goes first. So if you look at point A, it went across to -5 and then down to -6. So point A is -5, -6. Point B went across to -4 and then it went up. It went up to 3, -4, 3. Point C tells you to go across to 0, which means we stay where we were at the origin, but we moved up to 2, so that would be the point 0, 2. Point D says let me say that again, sorry. Point D says we go over to 5 and up to 2. So that would be the point 5, 2. Point E says go over 3 and stay there. So that means over 3 and up 0. Point F says go over 1 and then we went down to -4. Remember, it always is so that the x comes first and the y second.